My ex's life is going downhill and she's blaming me for it. For context, I met her when me and her went to the same tuition classes and were in the same grade. And after a year or so of knowing each other, she decided to ask me out. I of course said yes, because at the time I was really into her too, but didn't show it as to not ruin our friendship. Fast forward a year and we were still together, and yes, we had our problems in the relationship because of her strict parents, but made it work. Meanwhile, she also had a boy best friend back in her home country, whom she knew even before meeting me, and I was okay with them being friends, because I don't really find a problem with that, and it seemed like he was a good guy. So after a couple of weeks after our first year together, she went back to her home country for 2 months, and during that time, she had gone to meet him almost every day and they hung out every day for 2 months straight. She even slept over at his house a couple of times. At first I had some doubt about the guy, so I talked with her about it, and she reassured me that they were just friends, and I don't need to worry about anything. She even gave me her passwords for her accounts and told me to check whenever I feel any doubts about her. When she came back, she was a whole different person from who she was before she got addicted to vaping, and was all around acting very different from how she usually acts. This did strike me as odd, but it wasn't a big deal for me at the time. And then one day after a couple of months, I was at her place with her best friend, and she went to the grocery store to get some snack before watching some movies together. And while she was out, her best friend started crying, and told me that girlfriend cheated on me with him while she was in her home country, and she had other accounts that she used to talk to him, which I didn't know about. I asked her why she told me now and not when it all happened, and how did she know. She said that she felt guilty about it seeing both of us so happy, and she felt like I needed to hear the truth about everything. She then showed me proof of everything in her phone, which had my girlfriend's alt account logged in, and I read everything, and saw pictures of what had happened between her and her boy best friend. I was shocked as to how so much could have happened, and I didn't even have a clue. I was heartbroken, so before she came back, I took photos of everything as proof and left and went home, telling her friend that when she comes back, just to tell her that I had an emergency and had to go home. After a couple of days of acting like nothing happened, I was mentally preparing myself to break up with her, because she was still talking to her boy best friend every day like nothing had happened. I broke the news on a Tuesday night via text and asked her why she did what she did. The hard part is, she didn't even try to deny anything, and just said it was a one-time thing etc., and that she is sorry and wanted to be with me and no one else. Even said that if I wanted to, she would cut all contact with her boy best friend even on her alt account, which I told her I knew about. I told her no and said it's best we break up, and blocked her on everything after that. She even found out her best friend told me about everything, and she cut contact with her best friend after that. A couple of weeks later, she tried calling me multiple times with different phone numbers to talk to me. But whenever I found out, I blocked that number, and eventually with the help of my friends, I got over it. And apparently, she did too after that. She then started to date her boy best friend for around 6 or 7 months. Her girl best friend told me about all this. But then somewhere around October of 2022, her boy best friend and couple of guys violated her. After that, she told the girl best friend everything that had happened, and she was very self-harming after that. After her friend told me what happened, I unblocked her, and she called and asked me to meet up with her just to talk. I of course rejected it at first, but after considering her mental health and everything, I agreed, and we met up in a small cafe in my city. She told me that she made a mistake and wanted me back, and that she regretted everything, and it was her fault in the end. I told her that what happened with her was horrible, and it shouldn't happen to anyone. But as for us getting back together, I couldn't trust her anymore, and told her I was already dating someone else. She threatened to unalive herself, but I said that's not going to change my mind about us getting back together. I told her if she needed help with anything other than that, I'm here, but that's where I draw the line. And then I left. She went silent for a while, and I thought maybe she's working on herself and trying to forget her past, and I moved on with my own life. Then I got the news from a couple of our mutual friends that she tried to end herself. And when she was asked why she did it, she said it's my fault because I left her. At that point, everyone in on our mutual big friend group is blaming me for her attempt and talking bad about me because apparently it's my fault that she tried to do it. I'm very low contact with the mutual friend group now, and I only talk to my close friends about this. I just need help as to what to do at this point. I'm lost now. I'm thinking maybe it was my fault for breaking up with her, which led to bad things happening. If anyone knows what to do, please help me. Now for the top advice. Don't ever contact her again, block her forever. And about those people, send a message explaining everything, express your disappointment about their attitude, then block them too. They choose to judge you after hearing one side of the story, so they don't deserve that you waste your time with them anymore. You don't need drama in your life after all she put you through. And the fact that she blames you show how irresponsible and toxic that girl is. Keep your close friends, move on with your life without caring anymore about her. You can't put all the pain of everyone on your shoulder. Being kind, it's good, but don't accept being treated like trash. This, to the T. Explain, block, and live your best life. She cheated on me, she didn't even deny it, I dumped her. If you have any issues, take it up with the group of boys that violated her, as I was well beyond the point of having her in my life by that time. Blaming me for her problems is another problem she's adding to her growing list. If that bothers you, feel free to stop talking to me, as your opinion on the matter is meaningless. What you need to do is wake up. Did you cheat? Were you unfaithful? So that toxic friend group, why can't you just cut them off and block them? You don't need them. If they want to be idiots and believe her and talk crap about you, then they aren't good people. No one should stay with anyone who cheats. She chose her own path, no one made her do anything. She chose to bet her boy best friend, she made that choice. She got violated because of her own choices. Why do you feel bad when you know your worth? Honestly, if I were you, I'd ask that toxic friend group what would all of them had done if someone cheated on them, then got violated because of the choices they made, then tries to blame them for the person trying to end themselves. So the idiot friend group would have gone back with a cheater because they threatened self-harm. No. When someone tries that crap, that means they made that choice. It's no one else's fault but theirs. Stop getting updates on exes. Don't be friends with exes. When someone becomes an ex, you should ask any mutual people to never talk about them around you, and if they don't know how to respect your wishes, then they aren't your friend and they chose to do that. Quit being in contact with her and anyone who wants to advocate for her. When we move on, we move on. Block her on everything, and block anyone who wants to blame you for something she chose. Next story. I'm getting divorced. I don't want to act my age, I want to do whatever I want. I spent my entire life setting that up, and I intend to execute. To start this off, I'm a 34-year-old guy. I've been with my wife for 10 years, but she's slightly older than me at 36. I've been told that I need to start acting my age in our relationship. I own the house, I pay the bills, and I take care of myself physically. To me, that is the very definition of acting my age, being physically and fiscally responsible. It comes down to my hobbies. I play video games, I watch anime, I spend admittedly a little too much time in the gym. I also do MMA training to beat Goku obviously, smoke weed, and until recently, I'd throw having a good intimate life in there as well. This is pretty much what I enjoy doing, and what I will probably always enjoy doing. She, on the other hand, hates pretty much all of these things, regardless of them being constants for literally my entire life. She wants to go to wine tastings and art museums, and explore cities literally all day every day. Basically transition into a bunch of adult hobbies. I have no interest in any of these things and never will, but I should make it known that we go traveling fairly often. We're out of state or country at least every other month, and I definitely go exploring then. She expects me to completely change my hobbies, simply because she's outgrown being able to put up with them. She's also outgrown physical fitness, learning new things. I'm also an avid reader. We used to do a book club style thing twice a month, and having the ability to care what anyone else thinks. She used to be a very kind and caring person. Then after about 7.5 years of being with me, she quit her job, mutual decision so she could pursue her passion and take a break from work stress. And has since grown to be very entitled. Everything very much goes her way or there's hell to pay. I've been working my butt off my entire life to get to the point I'm at now. I was literally homeless at 15 and started from the literal bottom of society. Now I have money, I have time, and I feel great about myself in general, until my wife starts an argument. We've done marriage counseling, had endless talks, and really it hasn't helped at all. So, I'm getting divorced. The most mature thing to do is break it off, as we have very different wants and needs at this point. When I told her this, she suddenly didn't think acting my age was a great thing, and I was totally allowed to do whatever I wanted. No dice. Maybe I'll take some time to myself and write a book. Maybe since my hobbies are so 20s, I'll Tinder up and find an attractive 20-something to smoke with and watch anime with. All I know is I'm 100% over being told that I'm not good enough because I want to watch the new Bleach episodes. Entire thing is dumb. Okay, I think you're making the right move. Because I'm nosy as heck, please tell us how you informed her about the divorce. Are you guys still living together? Have you filed? I'm really curious about the nitty-gritty of how you two are separating. If she's not working, this is gonna be a huge culture shock for her. Juicy. She doesn't work but has plenty of money. I've done very well for myself and set her up as well. She's unlikely to have to work again. We separated today. I got paperwork in order over this week, and it's pretty much taken care of. It's about as amicable as it can be, honestly. I keep all my stuff, she keeps all hers, no alimony and no child support, because no kids. Good for you, man. Life really is too short to let others control what you should or shouldn't enjoy. Check out Chainsaw Man if you haven't. Loving it so far. As someone who has known my spouse since I was 14 and we have grown together, our hobbies have changed over the years. He's still a hardcore musician, but I prefer reading and crocheting at home. Do I still support him when he has gigs? Absolutely. I want to travel internationally, but he has no interest, so I'm planning a trip with his mom, and we are going to England, Ireland, and Scotland, and guess what? He will have to watch our kids up to 2 weeks, just like I did while he was touring. You can still be a couple and enjoy completely separate things. Unfortunately, it seems like her friend group is putting stuff into her head. I wonder what their marriages are like. Lol, I have crocheted at a metal show before, so these things can be combined. Why did she wait till her 30s to start wine tasting and going to art museum? She didn't. We've done wine or paint nights, that sort of thing, a bunch of times and it's always fun. I'm usually into it if there's a fun aspect, like the paint nights where I paint Godzilla instead of a palm tree or whatever. But she wants to move away from the childish fun stuff and be more sophisticated. I don't get along with her new friends because they sort of embody that sophisticated lifestyle, and she doesn't like that. I am sarcastic and silly, and I can do sophisticated if I need to, but I don't want to be that way all the time. Ding ding ding. I had thought, I wonder what her friend group was like. So they are the ones who got into her head. Then you drop divorce, and now I wonder if she drops them. Last story. My husband told my friend he is attracted to her and tried to keep it a secret. My husband recently told one of my friends that he is attracted to her in a way and wanted to keep it private. A few weeks ago, my husband of half a year and I had a conversation about him and my friend and how I had noticed some spark between them while we were in a group with friends. At the time he said there was nothing to worry about, and I explained how I wasn't concerned and trusted him based on the fact that he confirmed I didn't need to be worried. Fast forward to now. The friend and her husband spent some time with us over the weekend. Yesterday, the day after we saw them, my husband told me he had something to tell me and that it would not be easy for him. Panic sets in, I have anxiety issues, and don't do well with confrontation. He then proceeded to admit to me that he is attracted to my friend, but not strongly, but enough to make him feel awkward when in her company, as he doesn't want to offend her husband or me, by either being too distant and rude to her to avoid the feeling of attraction, or be too attentive and cause glances from the people around us. Instead of talking to me about this first, he texted my friend and confessed that he has this odd attraction, but that it's not very strong, even though I feel that if it wasn't that strong, this wouldn't be an issue to bring up in the first place. He then asked my friend if they could keep his confession private. Points to my friend who told him no, that he should tell me, and that she doesn't keep anything from her husband, and she would be telling him too. I was the last one to find out that all this was happening, and probably wouldn't have at all if my friend hadn't told my husband to tell me. I don't know what to do at this point. Now his awkwardness has led to my embarrassment, my friend and her husband's awkwardness, and me not wanting to be around my friend with her knowing that my husband finds her attractive. I've explained to my husband in the past that I have rejection trauma and don't have a lot of self-confidence. This has made it even worse. I know a lot of it is just my head, but I can't help going down a spiral. I know it's not her fault, and my husband admitted he made a stupid mistake in the way he handled it. Honestly, I wish he just kept his mouth shut altogether. Now for the top advice. My friend's husband came on to me, and I made him tell her. He was definitely trying to smash. Your husband had no reason to say anything to her, other than to feel her out for a possible affair. Keep your eyes open. Yep, he was confident enough in the connection that he could smash behind OP's back. She deserves better. Because you noticed a connection, he thought he was in with a chance with her, and shot his shot. Which failed because your friend is a good friend to you. He wasn't just telling her as a public service announcement, he was telling her to try and get it on with her. He's actively been trying to cheat on you. Okay, just so we are all clear. You do understand that he tried to cheat on you with her, she called him on it, and basically forced him to make up this BS story about him feel awkward when in her company, to make it seem like he didn't contact her to see if she was up for it, asking her to keep it quiet. You do see that, don't you? Right. OP, just think about this logically. How in the world would telling her he is attracted to her make him feel less awkward around her? So, what then? Now every time he would see her, she would know he was attracted to her. How is that less awkward? If everything was on the up and up, he would have said nothing or talked to you. His text to her was definitely a way to feel her out, while still having plausible deniability. He really must have worked it up in his mind that the attraction was mutual, and he wanted to test the waters to see if your friend was also a cheater. At least now you know he will go behind your back whenever he's attracted to someone else, and attempt to cheat on you, and make up lies to cover his butt. So, that's his character. You have a hard choice to make. I've found women are more likely to forgive cheating for some reason. If it were me, his stuff would be on the lawn.